giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Underdog Fantasy and the Cochran Firm. Streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! The Cowboys are going back. Dallas is back in California this week. They're heading to LA. They're already in LA for the joint practice this morning. We got a list. We got a watch list. I got a handful of things I'm personally looking for. I'll ask you guys. You let me know what you're looking for a little bit later, and we'll get to that. In the roundup, we got some updates on some injuries, injury front, returns and not returns. All right, but shouldn't be a fairly, a long show. And let me go ahead and get rid of this date because it's wrong. Here we go. It shouldn't be a long show. I say that all the time, and then I put this phone line up here, 351-999-3787, and y'all carry it as long as you would like. But just got some things I'm looking for today in this joint practice with the Chargers, which I think is important because the Cowboys starters will not be playing against the Chargers starters in the preseason game on Saturday. So these joint practices mean everything. And the Cowboys get two of them, today and tomorrow. So make sure y'all watch that later on today. I do not know the time. Somebody asked me in the chat, what's the time? I'm not sure what time they're going to go out there, but I'm pretty sure it'll be on the Twitter's feed. With that said, shout out to the Bomb Squad in the building.
Bomb Squad!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all here early and often. Sin City, Stephen White, Adrian Padilla, Toxic Tom, AV Hot, Jeremy, Trey, Oscar, Sheila, Craig, No, King Element. King, you usually come in a little bit late, so it's good to see you in here a little early, man. Yesterday's show on Vox Lombardi Live was hilarious. Unseen, Unheard Of, Miller Corbett, Stephen White, good morning, Sir ADP, Connor Collins, Alpha Mason, 68 One Boy, 0101. I never can get that first name, so we're just going to call you 0101. 00101. Gregory, Aaron, what's goody? D.A. Lee, Derek Fisher, Jack Bynum, who else got? C.J. Richards, Pass Chindela. I got that wrong. My apologies. C. Burleson in the building and the many more. Captain America, I see you. Gregory, I see you. All y'all came in early, and I appreciate that. Hector, Esther B, and everyone else joining, man. Thank you for joining the show. Today, again, we're going to get straight to the point with today's show because really the good stuff happens after today, right? You get a chance to see some of the big names, the Slaters, the J.C. Jacksons, the Herberts going up against the Cowboys defense. And I'm hoping the Cowboys team focuses the camera on the defensive side. Sure, show us some of the offense too, right? I don't want to ignore it, but I want to see a lot of the defense today. So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all some who's on my watch list. Sky trying to give up a third for an all-pro. Yeah, sure. Why not? Nah, CJ, I'm actually going to get a cut today later. I learned to self-groom. You got to learn to self-groom to keep yourself, when you were broke, when I was super broke, and I ain't like I'm rich, but when I was super broke, I had to learn how to cut my own hair, man. I ain't have the money to go get a haircut, CJ. So I learned how to do that to keep me going until I go to the actual barber to hook a brother up. So hopefully tomorrow it looks a little better than that. But all right, yes, TC915, that is on the list. We'll get to it. That is on the list. Same for you, Craig. That is on the. You're already getting on the list. Let's hit the roundup. We have some injury updates. The one injury update is kind of annoying because you know how I feel about this position, but let's talk about it.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, let's do it. Hey, Matt, well, let's go. We got an update. Shout out to Michael Gelkin, who I think he's becoming Cowboys' go-to reporter for fans. John Machota good too, man. Good people. They both looked out for me down there. But per Michael Gelkin, both of these two reports here, rookie Matt Wallesco has responded well to weeks of shoulder rest and rehab. He'll defer the surgery he'll eventually need, though, preserving hope for him to play in 2022. Two people familiar with his progress have said. The key part here is the surgery he will eventually need. Let me just ask y'all this. Do you guys want to roll out the rookie on a bum shoulder that he needs surgery for, that he may have to get in the game and play on? And we're talking about Matt Wallesco from North Dakota, not State. I'm going to go with no. I think this is one of those things where maybe he hits IR. It's very possible they go ahead, put him on a 53, then send him to IR. You don't even got to tap him on the shoulder. You don't got to say, hey, Matt, your ankle hurt, right? No, because he is hurting right now, right? The shoulder is an injury. That is a problem right now. And he needs surgery for it. Just go ahead, get the surgery as soon as possible so you can get back into the weight room, get back into rehab and working on your game so you can come back next year and hopefully be ready to go. But I always thought the plan for Wallesco and ball in general was a very risky one, right? It was very risky. But what I find perplexing is that the Cowboys, with this injury information, right, the Matt Wallesco injury, still did not go out and sign a swing tackle. Now, I'm not even saying sign a swing tackle to be the actual swing tackle. I'm just saying sign a swing tackle for competition for Josh Ball. At least we had a real competition, right? Wallesco and Ball was a real, legit competition. Now, with Wallesco out, you just need it for depth. You just need it for depth because now it's Ball and who? Collins? And I know Coach Marv, I went back. Yeah, I mean, that's fine with Collins, but we're talking about a guy who hasn't really played either. So I'm just so shocked they didn't go out and get anybody. And before you say, well, you don't need two tackles. Well. Let's not forget the Dallas Cowboys actually relied on two backup tackles last year to get through games and get through the season. Here's where I applaud them last year. They said, okay, we see something in Steele, right? We're going to see what we got with him. But we're not going to put all of our coins in that basket. We're going to go sign a tight end second and let them compete. And they competed, and they liked what they saw from Steele, but they still said, we'll keep Nsekhe around. And what happened? You needed Nsekhe in the Patriots game. You needed him in the Washington game. You needed him in the Vikings game. You damn sure needed Steele. So we'll talk about Ball a little bit later on. I just don't understand not bringing in another tackle when Wallesco went down for pure competition. Put some heat on these guys. Make them have to raise their level of play. And then depth, because you don't have the depth with Wallesco out. I mean, you barely had it with him there. So just a weird way they're going about this, and I hope it doesn't bite them in the ass when the season starts. That's all. But the good news coming out of, I mean, Wallesco update is not bad news, but the really good news coming out of yesterday was Will Grier is back at practice, and according to Michael Gelkin, Grier is trending towards seeing work in Wednesday and Thursday's joint practice. In Saturday's game, he participated in their walkthrough. I love to hear it. And I'm rooting for Will Grier, not because we got the same last name, but I'm saying when there's a will, there's a way. He just looked like the second best quarterback at camp. He has, DiNucci has an arm, but Will, I think, has a better arm all around. DiNucci has stupid zip. Will has zip, but the mechanics look better. He was more consistent. He has some mobility. I thought he was out playing Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush had a chance to go out and put himself ahead on Saturday. It didn't happen. So there's a true, real backup quarterback competition for the Dallas Cowboys, and getting Will Grier back out there is going to be major for those backup receivers. And hold tight because he's on that list as well. Remember, I told you guys I had a chance to talk to Will, and I finally got a chance to. I'm going to show you guys the interview. Now, let me just say this real quick. I had a chance to catch him after practice during a walk-off. Just a quick little interview, about a minute and some change. The wind is blowing a bit. You can hear him, but you also can hear fans in the background. So I'm just letting you guys know it may sound a little bit weird, but you can still hear him well, in my opinion. It just has the background noise to it. But I thought the most interesting thing he said had to do with when I asked him about Kellen Moore's offense. And honestly, the first two questions, when I asked him about how he feels in year two, because he didn't have a chance to really play last year because he got signed at the start of the season, essentially. So here's the interview from myself and Will Grier last week, I believe like Monday or Tuesday or something like that.
Will Grier,
Yes, sir.
who I think is absolutely having a great camp. Quick question. You came in towards the end of camp, if not like ready to start the season, if I'm not mistaken. Now you're in year two. You seem to be a lot more comfortable and at ease out there. How you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being in an offense for a year, you start to kind of you settle in. Like I knew the plays in the meeting room, but transitioning out to the field, you have to play fast. Your mind speed's got to be fast, and I've continued to speed up the last year. I feel really comfortable now.
Kellen Moore's scheme, I don't really know how to put a handle on it, but is it challenging from a mental state for a quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. It's complex. It's a lot, but I think that's when you have a veteran guy like Dak, you're able to do that. We want to be in the right play every time. We have adjustments, kills, and audibles, and a lot. But obviously the goal is to be a really efficient offense. I think we showed last year what we can be as an offense, and part of that's just having a veteran quarterback that can handle it. So like I said, my mind is sped up. I feel more comfortable in it, and I'm ready to go if I get that call.
Last one. Finally, we get preseason football on Saturday. I know you're ready.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's another opportunity to go play. Go win. The preseason is what it is, but I'm going to go out there and ball and, score some touchdowns.
All right, go kill him, man.
Yes, sir.
That was Will Grier speaking with me last week after practice. I appreciate these guys doing that. Some of them had already went through a few walk-off interviews and gave me a few seconds of his time. Again, I'm not being biased because we have the same name. Seriously, though, I think he was the second best quarterback out there. I am excited for him to see him get out there. I was excited to see him against Denver. But if we go to my list and then I hit the phone lines, got a few people in the phone lines. By the way, was the audio okay? I know there was a lot of wind, a lot of fans yelling for different players and things like that. Was the audio okay for you guys? Because I may take this out for later for those that want to watch it. And if it wasn't, let me know. I'll try to fix it as best as I possibly can. But if it was cool, it was cool. But let's hit the list real quick because Will Grier spoke on a few things in that interview. He talked about how complex the offense is for the quarterback, but having a veteran like Dak to lean on, it helps out. And him being in the second year, he's picking things up. His mind is clicking a lot faster. It's moving a lot quicker. And I asked him that question because you could see him be a bit more comfortable when he's out there with the wide receiver twos. And that's the first thing on my list here. I'm looking for Will Grier with the wide receiver twos. We saw Cooper Rush with those boys. It didn't look great. If you go back and look at the Denver Bronco game, no wide receiver had more than 2 receptions. Go look at the Denver Broncos wide receivers. About 4 of them boys had 4 receptions or more, or something like that. I might be exaggerating, but a lot of targets went to those wide receivers. The only receiver with more than 3 targets in Denver was Tolbert. The second leading target guy was Turpin with 3. So I think it's very important to get a guy like Will out there who I think he plays with more moxie. I think he plays with more confidence. Like I said before, I feel like Cooper Rush was playing to not lose the job, practicing like he was not trying to lose the job. Where Will was out there trying to take it from him. I want it. Give it to me. And I want to see if that carries over into Saturday. I think it's going to be important to get him out there because he plays with just more aggressiveness, and you need to see what you got in a guy like Turpin and a guy like Vasher and Simi, who 2 targets, 2 receptions, and a touchdown. I want to see these guys get the ball thrown to them more. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Will versus the wide receiver 2s today, not just Saturday, but today. And hopefully that groin is okay. Thank you. So you guys said the audio was good. Appreciate that. A Hatch. You said proud of you, Will. Thank you. I don't think Tober can hang with Samuel. Well, yeah, we'll get to the rest of that, y'all. We'll get to the rest of that. I just want to get that up there. I saw Swain had something. Sky, why though? Why was Rush on a different playbook? I'm not familiar with what you're saying. You mean he was playing with a different playbook? I didn't know that. So I have to be a little bit more detailed on that one for me, Swain. Be a little bit more detailed. Yeah, I see you guys. Toxic Tom. Everybody is a little bit upset with we're going up against Samuel Jr. And we'll get to the bottom of that list there. But yeah. Yes, Derek, I went back and looked at the show when the music went. I think I clipped it out. At least I went into YouTube and clipped it out. Hopefully that got fixed. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to hit the phone lines, and then we'll get to the second part of the list. We got James from Cali on the horn. By the way, 1 second, James. 1 second, right? I got you in a second, James. This is the phone lines of Pulse of the Nation phone lines are presented by the Cochran Firm. The Cochran Firm is the leading nation's premier personal injury, truck accident, and medical malpractice law firms. Their attorneys handle the most challenging civil cases. They handle on a contingent fee basis. This means their fee is solely based on a percentage of the money that they recover for you. The initial consultation is free, so make sure you visit the Cochran Firm's offices in Dallas or Fort Worth or schedule your free consultation today. All right, James, what's up with you?
Not much. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just ready to see. I'm hoping that they actually do team stuff today, but if not, I'm still ready to see some one-on-ones.
I hope they do something to improve on that Denver Bronco fiasco. I know it was just preseason, and a lot of people go, oh, it's just one preseason game. But the good thing is in those preseason games, you get a chance to see what you really got in those rookies. And I'll tell you, definitely some major red flags. That offensive line has got to be the offensive line's got to be addressed, man. You already started to talk about it. Josh Ball, man, he can get out of here with a few of them other guys. I mean, if we ever have to use him at swing tackle, he's going to get that killed. That is not the answer. I've played offensive line before, and that's bad technique.
Yeah, I'm not ready to just plop Josh Ball at swing tackle. I don't think he's done enough consistently to be like, yep, we're confident in that situation. Not just yet. Now he's got a chance this week, and he's got a chance on Saturday to improve on the things that he wasn't so great at, and then build momentum on some of the things he was good at, which was the run blocking. But I'm not ready to just be like, yeah, Josh Ball's the guy.
He was okay in the run blocking, but pass blocking, he was getting beat inside and every other which way. And I was going to ask you, is it just me, or did you see, like, in our secondary how Rashaan Wright, man, was getting burnt to a crisp? Yeah. He was getting burnt.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my
God.
Rashaan
was competitive, and much like Josh Ball, they started off fine, right? They started off. I mean, Ball, I termed it serviceable. Rashaan started off really good, and then after they took that interception away from him, it's just kind of like things kind of piled up on him with a couple big plays and the touchdown.
Yeah,
he's in the spot, but he doesn't make the play on the ball. And I know we can kind of excuse it a bit, like, oh, he's young. At least he was there. But my thing is, he's the type of player that you expect to make a play on the ball. Coach McCarthy, he says about Wright that he has great ball skills, but they just weren't on display on those.
The flip side to that with Wright, though, Will, is that in real games, when it really counts against some of these real big top wide receivers that he may have to go against, I mean, he was getting torched by their second or third string receiver. Whoever that guy was, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, Judy, man, you can't play like that against some of the best.
Yeah, he's got to bounce back. On Monday we did our bounce back group, and Rashaan Wright was definitely in the bounce back category. But But see, here's the thing. He was having a good camp, so I'm not really going to crush him too hard about the game because he actually has been having a good camp. So maybe it was just one of those one-offs, and he'll come back and play a little bit.
Yeah, but we'll have to, like I said, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But if you go for first look in an actual real game simulation, even though it was against backups, that wasn't a good showing. And the other thing is, do you think, in your honest opinion, because I trust what you and Bot say, you're the two I watch the most, but do you think we can clean up these penalties?
Man, James, I'm at the point now with Cowboys, I don't ever see penalties not being an issue. So y'all know
we got a target on our back anyway. So.
Right. Y'all know my mantra with the front office, right? We got to win, in spite situation. We got to win. Yep. Even though they're not going to do everything to go all in with the situation. But same thing with penalties. I feel like, unfortunately, man, it is what it is with those things. You just got to find a way to push through it. Now, what I will say is they have to clean up the self-inflicted wounds, right? Personal foul penalties, tauntings, full starts,
it's that big 15-yard
offsides.
penalty, and then there's a holding call, like on Tyler Smith, the first one, which was absolute. I don't know if I'm allowed to say bullshit. It was a bullshit call.
Oh yeah, you're good, and that's the thing, right? We're going to get a handful of bad calls against the Cowboys all the time. That's what I mean by there's just nothing we can do about that. Nope. But there is something you can do about being offsides. There is something you can do about hands to the face. There is something you can do about taunting.
That's all being
full start. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mental. Yeah.
Lining up wrong.
You just got to know where the line is. Hey man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to call, say good morning, get a couple of takes of what you thought, and hopefully the next preseason game is a little better than the last one. So
yeah. There's a lot of good though, man. There was a lot of good to come out of that, James. But I feel you.
Well, yeah. I know. I've been a Cowboy fan for 40 years, man, and I'll tell you, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow.
It is. Appreciate you, James.
Yep. All right, man. Well, you have a good day, man.
You too.
All right.
Yeah, there was bad, man. It was bad, but if you go look at our good, bad, ugly, there was way more good than bad and ugly combined. But again, with preseason, I think we do have to kind of compartmentalize just a little bit. I'm not looking at the results. I'm not even looking at the unit as a total. I'm looking individually, to be honest. I'm looking at individuals. How did they play? Given the circumstances. And there was a lot of good play from different individuals. Professor O, wow, look at this. Cowboys go visit the Chargers. And I guess, Jerry Jones, smells like money. They get around Jerry and they give an extension to Derwin James. Breaking news. Derwin James signs a 4-year extension, $42 million guaranteed, $19 million per year per Ian Rappaport. Salute to Derwin James. Another one that got away. What's good, Brandon C? Let's get one more. I hope they focus on Anthony Brown at practices, Trey. Brown, what's crazy in that game? Brown had a bad game, right? Well, I use quotes because the one play, but he didn't have a great game in week 1. And then in week 2, they threw a quick out. And I'm talking about last year in 2021. They threw a quick out to Mike Williams. I remember this vividly because Jesse was kind of laughing at me. And I was like, man, where's my butt? Anthony Brown. Because he didn't make the tackle and things like that. Then he kind of came back and had a solid game, and then the rest is history. He had a solid season. But Trey, I was kind of on your side there for about a game and some change. But he turned it around, man. He turned it around. Yeah, that's the thing. Ray's Elite Gaming. Or I'm sorry if I said this wrong. I don't think the offensive line was some atrocious offensive line. Don't get Josh Ball's bad play because he had some bad play. I'm not saying he got beat like I told, who was he yesterday? Who was I talking to? Reek. I told Reek he wasn't getting beat every play or anything like that, and he was better in the run department. But don't let his pressures and sack or whatever and penalties deter you from the rest of the guys. I thought there was more players on the offensive line that played good than not. But again, I'm not looking at them as a whole because we're not going to see that unit. You hope you don't see that unit as a whole. So look at it individually. And we'll get to it here in a second. One more, then we'll get back to the list. 956, what it do. I think this is Jose.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Will. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Just about to go through this list. What's up with you?
Pretty good. No, I just wanted to pretty much that getting tackle. I think these guys are gonna push it. They're gonna see how we're gonna do this week. See how everybody does. See if Josh Ball is gonna show out or not. And yeah, they're gonna work. They're gonna put their backs to the walls. I see. They're gonna do that, and at the last minute, fucking pull the trigger and pop the deer. That's what I say, and get a tackle, if anything.
Yeah, well, it's comical right now that they're not bringing in a swing tackle. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I see this. I don't know why. I'm fed up about it. The offensive line is what takes care of it. That's the heart of pretty much of the team. Without an offensive line, you don't have a running back. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have any of that. You can have the best of the best, but they ain't shit without an offensive line. So as I see it, fuck, man, like I don't know why these guys are just waiting. It gets frustrating, but I think that's all they're doing. They're just waiting it out. Wait to see what they do next week, after next week, and then what?
You about to cook breakfast?
Shoot ourselves in the foot. What's up?
You about to cook breakfast?
No, I'm actually in my storage and I'm taking out a boat lift. Install a 12,000-pound boat lift. My bad. I'm always working, but
it's cool. It's cool. I just heard
everybody. I'm
pots
working.
and pans in the back there.
I'm moving chainsaw actually at the moment.
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
I just wanted to call, make it quick.
Long.
I just wanted to make that quick and just pretty much make a statement. And as everyone's, just how you and Bunch always say, man, don't miss these shows, brother. Last Friday, your show was legendary. Yesterday's watch was fucking, man, that shit was fire. I was literally half asleep, and y'all woke me up half in the day. It was pretty good.
Oh,
but yeah, I just hope everybody has a great day, and y'all enjoy your day.
Appreciate you, Jose. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Yeah.
If you tune into Vosh and Boy Live with me, oh God, it's still going on in my ear. Hold on, let me mute you real quick. Okay, if you tune into that show and you sleepy, you damn sure gonna wake up. I tell you that much. Let's get back to the list right quick. Micah Parsons versus Rashaan Slater. Now, this to me is a little bit of, I hate to use the term redemption, but if you guys remember, it was Parsons' first game last year of him being a pass rusher. Again, it's so crazy. Week 1 against Tom Brady, they had Micah Parsons dropping back 29 times. I guarantee you will not see Micah Parsons drop back 29 times in week 1 against Tom Brady this year. Not happening. And then practice came, D-Law got injured, and they said, hey, Micah, let me get you to rush the passer this week. Mind you, that was the same game Randy Gregory caught COVID. We just got a lot going on with this that week. So Micah ended up having to face Slater and Storm Norton. Well, he was smoking the hell out of Storm Norton, but Rashaan Slater got the best of him a little bit. Let's just be honest. He'll probably tell you that too. Rashaan Slater got the best of him. So what I want to see is round 2, Micah Parsons versus Rashaan Slater. All right, Slater went to the Pro Bowl. Fantastic left tackle. A lot of people are going to try to group these two together. Let me tell you right now, if you're still upset that we didn't take Slater over Micah, I don't know what to tell you, man. We got a generational type talent here in Micah Parsons. And I'm hoping that we hear great things coming out of it. But I want to see him against opposing teams' competition, right? The Broncos didn't have it. They just didn't have a guy like Slater or a guy like Tyron Smith. And Micah wasn't really lining up on Tyron's side too often during camp for whatever reason. So I kind of want to see him go up against a little bit more competition and Rashaan Slater. And I want to hear that he's smoking him. I do. I want to hear that, hey, Micah got the best. They lined up 7 times. Micah got him 3. Like, I want to hear something like that. All right, because Slater is a beast. And I feel good about Micah against anybody. But he did get him last year. All right, he did get him. So that's another thing I'm kind of looking for tomorrow. Looking for today in the joint practice. Today might be mostly one-on-one. Tomorrow might be the team. I don't know what they're going to do, but there's 2 practices. I don't recall last time, but the Cowboys did 2 practices back to back. I don't think they did it with the Rams last year. I think it was 1. So I'll keep my eyes on it. Yeah. Voch was definitely pissed that game. He kept hitting Micah with the gray sad music, as if it was a wasted pick, as if Micah didn't help win that game. And then Micah did what he did, and, he's back on the train. So it is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of people, Toxic, wanted Slater over Micah. Don't blame you. I get it. Off-ball linebacker. People didn't really look at Micah as anything other than that. But now we know Micah Parsons is all world. Everything. So we should be good now. All right, oh, shoot. I had somebody on here. We still got Jose on the line. So let's get back into the list. Oh, Will Greer, Micah Parsons, you made the list. This one here, if you read these names and you might be like, oh, I don't want to see this. Terrence Steele and Josh Ball versus Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I know that sounds like, man, I don't want nothing to do with that. You should. You should want to see these boys go up against starters because obviously Steele is your starter. And I think for the most part, there's a comfort level with Steele at right tackle. I know he still got some of his doubters around the nation, and it is what it is. That's not going to change. And he has some more things to prove. He has to prove he can be a reliable starting right tackle for a full season. There's no doubt about it. But I think there's a resume and there's a body of work that we can fall back on with Terrence Steele. I think versus Denver, he showed some of that promise that we all liked, right? He showed some of that athleticism. He still was nasty in the ground game. You could just see from a technical standpoint, he's much improved from year one. His confidence is much better. The length, he's just continuing to grow. And what I tried to do at camp was point out, don't get it twisted. Micah Parsons is an alien. Yeah, he's getting at him. But he ain't going up against a bunch of Micah Parsons. And he didn't go up against any really elite pass rushers against Denver. So what I want to see him do is go up against guys like Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, right? They're going to get the best of him, you would imagine, at some point in time. But he's got tape on Joey Bosa last year where he won some and he lost some. I thought it was his first coming out party against the Chargers. Now, did he receive some help? Sure. Did he receive some game planning? Sure. But there was still multiple reps of one-on-ones that still came away with the dub. So I really want to see Terrence Steele against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, two different type of rushers, right? And he didn't get a chance to kind of get that against Denver. Now with Josh Ball, he, again, like I said yesterday with Reek, wasn't getting whooped every play. No. And he started off solid. I wrote it on my tweet. Hey, man, Josh Ball started off serviceable. And then I don't know what happened. After about a quarter and a half in, and then the third quarter, it just, from a pass rushing standpoint, it kind of just crumbled on him a bit. It just kind of was going, it got herky-jerky. The pressure started piling up. The plays started piling up, and it got weird. In total, he gave up 5 pressures that they knocked him for, but he only had 11 true pass sets. Here's the problem. In those 11 true pass sets, he gave up 3 pressures, y'all. That's a 27% pressure rate. That's not good, Bob. It's not good, Bob. So you want to see him clean that up. And again, iron sharpens iron, right? Like you want to see a guy like Steele and Ball go up against these top talents, especially because there's a chance if you only roll with Ball, that Ball is going to be your swing tackle. It hasn't been a great offseason. It hasn't been a great camp, right? But I feel like this is a very, very important week for Josh Ball. He needs to put some things together. Now, let's compartmentalize for a second. What are things he can build on? He can build on the run blocking. I don't have any complaints in that department. Did he get thrown around a few times here and there? Sure. But for the most part, the run blocking wasn't my issue. Where he could stand and gain some more confidence in is, okay, after a series or two, it seemed like did he tire out? What happened? Because it wasn't like he was technically sound in general to start, but it got real funny after that, and the pressures start piling up. He didn't give up no pressures the first about quarter or 2 or 3 series. It was looking all right, looking serviceable. Then he gave up 5 pressures, 3 pressures, and 11 true pass sets, and a sack, plus 2 penalties. You don't want to see that kind of Jekyll and Hyde situation from a tackle, because especially from the blind side, right? You do not want your blind side tackle giving up 3 pressures in the sack and 11 pass blocking attempts. You don't want to see it because one of those can be a tip ball, like what happened, a sack fumble, your quarterback having to run around. Now he's missing a guy open. So big week for Josh Ball to build on what he did do well and then correct what he didn't. And if we go out into this game and we don't see improvement, I don't know how you can come back next week with less than 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, 3 weeks into the season. No Wallesco, who I don't even know if that's going to matter, and just Josh and say, I'm not going to bring in any competition. They did it last year for Steele. Why not do it this year? So big week for Josh Ball. Steele, I think he just has to continue to improve. Somebody said they just realized that's Y2J before he became Chris Jericho up on the screen. Nah, brother, that's Chris Jericho. He's always been Chris Jericho. But Y2J was his kind of, nickname when he first came to WWE. Johnny Huerta says, why not give 60 out of Kona a chance at swing tackle? I mean, at this point, if you're not bringing in Wallesco, I feel like Alarcon and Collins are guys that, are next in line to help to kind of push Josh Ball. I don't have to use the term push, but to challenge Josh Ball. There is no challengers, and that's what kind of makes me. And that's no offense to Alarcon or Collins, but there's no proven challengers is what I'm getting at. Whereas at least they brought in a proven challenger last year for Steele and tied in Suki. Yeah, he's not James. He's not quite Chaz. Somebody asked me that. Is he the white Chaz Green? No, I'm not going to go that far. Chaz Green gave up 6 sacks, guys. I mean, man, Chaz Green was awful. He's not quite that, but I love what Voch called. He was Suafilo in a sense. Not Chaz Green just yet. Mike says cut Ball. They're probably not going to cut him. He was a 4th round pick. At the very least, you can still put him in a depth chart. He just won't be your swing. But I want to see competition. James said the line had a cupcake training camp. What do you think about Odell Beckham? I mean, well, we can talk about that a little bit later here when we get to the wide receivers. Picture Ball versus the starters. I mean, we ain't got to picture it. I want to see it, right? Like, I understand he had a lot of reps last week against the starters in Denver, and they whooped on him. And then it got better against the backups in Denver in the game, which, hey, man, with him, I'm going to take a win because it's been a terrible camp. So with him, I'm going to take any win I can get, even though it wasn't an overall win. But Bosa and Mack is going to get at him. But if I could come out of Bosa and Mack going up against Ball and he'd be like, hey, man, Ball won at least 2 or 3 of those. Man, that's confidence, right? Confidence is key. We saw the lack of confidence in Terrence Steele in year 1. He had terrible confidence, and he was getting his butt whooped. So if we can get a couple wins, that'll build his confidence, and I think he'll play with more confidence. All right, so we already got Jose still on the line. We'll get Reek and then Danny. Don't you call up in here asking about no goddamn fantasy draft. I already told you, brother. I'll give you the updates on that, man. All right, man. What you got today, Reek? Hello?
Yeah, what's going on, Sky? Cowboy Nation, what's good? My thing is like this.
Mr. My thing is.
I just jumped in here. My thing is like this. Yeah, we gotta keep letting these guys continue to develop and grow and see where they're gonna go from there. And if they, before the week, by next week, if they feeling like they need to make a move, they should make a move early in the game.
It's late. It's late in the game now, brother.
Well, you know how it go, man.
Yeah. What's up, though?
My whole thing is like this. Who's number 65? That was playing center.
Is that?
How do y'all feel about him?
I think that's Lindstrom. Let me just confirm on that for y'all. It's either Lindstrom or Empey.
Yeah, cause I still feel like we should be looking at Tyler Biadasz because he looked like he was getting whooped up
Lindstrom.
on.
That was Lindstrom.
Whoop.
That was he got hurt a little bit too. Hurt his ankle.
Really? He
Mhm.
looked pretty good. Cause wasn't he the one that Davis was running behind in the number 34? That's where he was getting the push at one time when he was running through the middle.
Did you watch the show on Monday? Remember in the good section I had interior O-line? That includes Lindstrom, that includes Empey, that includes Tyler, McGovern, and even Biotish didn't have. I mean, Biotish had a solid game. It wasn't like, oh, Biotish was bad. He was not bad. But all those guys had a solid game. So, that's positive from that game. But yeah, man, Lindstrom looked solid. MP looked solid. Fournier looked solid. Like all those guys on the interior, I thought played well. And you don't play bad and run for 141 yards. It wasn't like they was going outside. They were mostly going up the middle.
Yeah, because my thing is like this. I think we still should keep an eye on Biotish, man. Because I think teams still gonna come at him and press him straight up the middle. Because I can already tell that my boy Smith, T. Smith, he ain't having it up the middle.
Nah,
so he's gonna stonewall you He's gonna stonewall you, and I know Martin gonna stonewall you. I think the weak link gonna be in the middle in this Biotish. Because I think he's going to get whooped on for some reason. And I really believe if they start to see that he's getting pushed back in Dak's lap, they need to make a move on him because I don't trust him. I just don't. That's just me. I don't trust him out of
I think
starting off the line.
I think you look at the starting offensive line, I think the consensus everybody will come away with Biotish being, I hate to use the term weak link, but being the guy. Last year it was Connor. I think a lot of people believe Connor Williams was the quote unquote weak link. To be fair, Biotish they both was, but I mean, if you're going 1 through 5, Connor Williams, everybody was more concerned about. And if you look at Biotish, he actually played much better towards the end of the season. So Biotish showed some progression at the very least. I know no one cares because now he's the next man up. Right now he's the whipping boy. And we all love Tyler Smith right now. He's young. He looked very good in his debut. Tyron's Tyron. Zach is Zach. Steele, like I said, we got a resume with Steele. I think he's trending up. So that leaves who? Tyler Biotish.
Yeah, it's Biotish, man. Because the way that what I seen in that practice, that little clip of practice when my boy Lawrence put him in the spin cycle, he didn't know where he was at.
Well, you're talking about practice. I mean, Gallimore, Osa, all those boys was giving him trouble. All of them was giving him trouble. But again,
I think we need to.
Same thing with Josh Ball in practice, though. He was now Tyler's practices were better. Josh's were terrible, but at least in the game, it wasn't as terrible as practice. Same thing happened with Biotish. His practices weren't the greatest in one-on-ones against those boys, but he got into the game, and I don't know how you come out of that game and be like, he had a bag. He did not. He just didn't, But I get him being
your most concerned. Yeah, because I hear his name too much.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad
game. Yeah, because I hear his name too much, yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, I really believe, like I said yesterday, man, I really believe we have to establish the run this year early and push people back, you know what I mean? Try to get as much push as we can in order to get back to a good play-action game.
Let me say this in closing. I wasn't quite sure if Tyler Smith was going to help Biotish until I had to see them in a game situation because Tyler's young. But I think if you come out of that game and watch Tyler Smith in his combo blocks and in his awareness, I think he's actually going to help Tyler Biotish a little bit more than Connor did. Connor wasn't the greatest in that situation, and then obviously he's not going to get pushed back in Dak's lap. So. If Tyler can help if Tyler can help Tyler Biotish, Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotish, too many damn T's on that line. Tyron, Tyler, Terrence. It's crazy. Yeah. If Tyler Smith can help Tyler Biotish just a little bit, I think that'll in return make Biotish a little bit better of a better player. I'm not even looking for Biotish to be some Pro Bowler. I'm really not. I just need him to just be serviceable. I'm not one of these unrealistic fans that need to have a Pro Bowler at every position. Just do your job, be serviceable, win more than you lose. That's all I'm asking for.
True indeed. All right, Sky. I'll holler at you later, man. Peace, Cowboy Nation. Hit that like button, the subscribe button, man. Peace.
Appreciate you, my guy, Reek. Yeah. Let me look at the chat here. I don't know how y'all felt about Tyler in that game. I know he's the whipping boy. And I'm not even sitting here putting a cape on for him. I'm not. If there's an upgrade for Tyler Biadasz, I'm all for it. If it's Matt Forniak, I'm all for it. If it's MP, I'm all for it. But right now, Forniak will be my guy. I would like to see get more reps with the ones to test that out. Here's the thing about it. They elected last year to give Connor Williams reps against Arizona and the Pittsburgh Steelers and whoever at center with the ones. Well, why not do the same thing with Forniak? I mean, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what happens when I say ones, I mean with Tyler Smith next to him, with Terrence on the other side. You're not going to see Tyron Smith. You're not going to see Zach. But, yeah, I'd like to see it. Jay said call him TNT. Problem is, it's TTNTZT. Too many damn T's on that line. All right, Danny. Be quick about it.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Danny.
I just want to say I apologize yesterday. I was having problems with my iPad, and so I was having issues. So you might have responded to me, but I didn't hear it. So
that's why you was in there spamming.
Yeah, no, I because I wasn't hearing it, and then I realized the volume. I had an issue with my volume. I wasn't spam. Spam to me is a meat you cook. I'm old. That's what spam to me is.
Well, I'm young, and spamming is putting the same damn thing in the chat 20 times.
I only did it like 3 or 4, really, honestly. But I apologize.
It's cool.
I apologize to the Bomb Squad. Here's my opinion on Ball, and I said this from day one. From day one, I thought Josh Ball was a right tackle. I thought
he definitely looks like one. Yeah.
Yes, I thought if we thought he was our left tackle for the next 10 years, no, not at all, not even close. I thought from day one he was going to be our right tackle. So I have to see him fail at right tackle before, I'm trying to say I cut the cord with him. And if he's a better run blocker at some point, if he's a better run blocker than pass blocker, there might be thoughts of throwing him aside at some point, if that's the case. You just mentioned the comment about Tyler Smith, and we do have way too many Tylers. Tyler Smith.
Too many T's.
Helping Tyler.
Anyway,
yeah. So rookie Tyler Smith helping Tyler Badass. So is it this like his 3rd or 4th year in the league?
This is Tyler's 3rd, yeah.
This is Tyler's 3rd.
Second as a full-time center, but yeah.
But if we have to have a rookie help our 3rd-year center, then that's probably our number 1 priority next year going into the draft.
I mean,
the center or left tackle.
No, it's got to be tackle.
That's come on.
Unless again Josh Ball shows something, but it's got to be tackle. But real quick, before you move forward on that, I think you're going past a pretty interesting take with Josh Ball. I'm with you. I didn't know what to view him as, left or right, just yet, right? But when we were talking about, let's go and Ball, I felt more comfortable if they had to be on the right side because that's not the blind side. So, boom, now we get to camp. Now we get tape. He definitely does not look like a fluid left tackle. I think that's something 100%. That, you have to – that's a good point. That's a good eye. He looks more like a right tackle, a guy that you can lean on to run the rock because most teams run to the right a lot. And a guy who might be clunky in his pass sets and in pass blocking, but with a veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott, he can see it coming from that side. He can step, he can do some diving. He can help out your right tackle to just get by through the game. Damn sure didn't look like a smooth left tackle at any point in that game. And some of the reps that he did win, quote-unquote win, it was still like, all right, man, we dodged a bullet there. But I'm with you. That's something that shouldn't go unnoticed, I think, there. Right tackle, I kind of want to see him over there. How about we see him go to right tackle? Because if he's our swing, he's going to have to swing at right if something happens. So, but I digress. Go ahead.
And that's why Vach is the Jedi Master when it comes to O-line. And even though I'm much, much older than Vach, I'm the young apprentice with the O-line. But from day one, he's the right tackle to me. Quick question. Back in the old days when we had 4 preseason games, it was the 3rd preseason game that was the dress rehearsal. It was the 3rd preseason game where you would see your starters play a quarter,
play a half. Will we see that, considering there's only 3 games now? Is this the dress rehearsal, or are they going to use the 3rd game as the dress rehearsal, where we see the starters for like a quarter or a half?
I don't think you're going to see the starters at all. I mean, that's something I hope they ask Mike McCarthy this week. If you go back to like a few weeks ago, they did ask him about it with Dak, and it kind of sounded like he was hinting towards the 3rd game. Let me just say this.
All right.
Let me just say this. 3rd game against Seattle, starting quarterback, preseason. I ain't a superstitious type, but I ain't running no damn Dak Prescott.
I know where you're going with that.
I ain't running no damn Dak Prescott out there. I don't give a damn.
No, I know where you're going. That's where he stepped in and almost snapped his back in half.
Yep.
No, I know where you're going with that.
It's not doing it, man.
Once again, great call as always. Watching Sky for the 306 crew later on. Like, subscribe. You guys are doing a great job. And you just got to check out my boy Gino Hernandez. Told you.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
You're gonna love it.
I wrote it down.
Love it. The Mexican Ric Flair, but charisma. Yo, I'm telling you, shame what happened to him. And it was real quick. Just check out Dark Side of the Ring. The whole Dark Side of the Ring on him.
I think there's an Edge one I just saw a commercial for. I got to check out. So I'm missing all these A&E documentaries, but I'm gonna catch up with them. Appreciate you though,
you got it,
Danny.
Man. You
Good
got
catching
it,
up.
Sky. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Thank you.
Just a little stitches. Yeah, I don't need to see. I don't need to see Dak Prescott out there, y'all. I don't. So I don't know what he's gonna do, but y'all know my mantra: no Tyron, no Zach, no Dak. It's that simple. If he elects to bring out Dak Prescott, do not do it with Josh Ball out there. Not yet. Like just not yet. I'm not ready for that. Nah. So no Tyron, no Zach, no Dak. And even if you get Tyron and Zach, I don't even know if I want to see Dak. Just forget about it. Forget about it. Okay? These practices are more important, in my opinion, than that preseason game. They just are. Yeah, I need to watch that Edge one. Good morning, Miss Sadiqa. I am good. My lady said don't watch it without me. I got her into these WWE documentaries, and she loves it. One thing you can hate on, you can not like wrestling. You could it's fake. It's real to me, damn it. But they do tremendous documentaries. Absolute fantastic documentaries. Captivating. All right, let's get to the original OG, B Bird. What's good, OG? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me good, man?
I can hear you perfectly fine, man.
Okay, I got your buds in today. Hey, so, Dak probably won't play. That's what these practices are for. You can get going against the number one without risking getting your quarterbacks hurt, without they're not doing full contact. So that's what that's for. I think they don't play them in the preseason. They're doing well what they're doing right now.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Josh Ball, I have a little thing that I think that I think when you're big like Josh Ball, you have all the prototypical size, but you play at a smaller school. I think you kind of get away with some things just being bigger than everybody else. Your technique doesn't have to be better. If he was at an SEC school, for one thing, he'd be going against guys his size, and then he has better coaching, right? Like Alabama, you have better coaching at Alabama than you have at a smaller school like a
real quick
Central Michigan or something like that.
Bieber, are you speaking about Josh or are you speaking about Matt Wallesco?
I'm sorry. Ball, right?
Well, Ball went to Florida State at first, and then he went to Marshall. I don't know if I consider Marshall a small school. It's not a Power 5, right? But
it's not a Power 5.
Yeah,
that's
what
I'm talking about.
Okay,
Power 5.
gotcha.
It's not Power 5. Yeah, because you don't go against the same kind of size and that you would in SEC or something like that.
But he did in Florida State. So.
Yeah, he did at Florida State, correct. Yeah. And so I just think, man, I guess I'm positive OG today because I think you just got to give him a few more years. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year to learn, man. And we're putting a lot on some of these guys that's coming out. Lower round draft picks, we have a lot of expectations on them. And we got to give him a little bit of time to, get into the system and get good coaching and get some consistency or whatever. I just want to just say we got to have a little patience with Ball, man.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, you're not wrong. I think, again, you can kind of separate the two. Yeah, let's be patient with Josh Ball, but let's also have an adequate backup plan, right, for Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
Because
Correct.
Unfortunately, we don't have the patience for October, right? Like, it's not like, we can say, we won't see Josh Ball till next November, next year. That's probably not the case. We're probably going to see Josh Ball at some point during this season. Because of what happens with Tyron Smith. So now the question becomes, do you have full confidence and trust in Josh Ball protecting Dak Prescott, your $160 million quarterback's blind side, for 3, 4, 5, 6 games if needed? At this point, August 17th, after a game and after a bunch of camp, I don't. So, maybe he gets better. But at this point right now, I can't say I feel good about that situation.
Now, when I say have patience, that doesn't mean I'm not saying go get a swing tackle, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, we need a new tackle, but that don't mean that we release him or get him out of here. He's not ready for the swing tackle position because with Tyron there, then you're probably going to need him, right? That swing tackle, he's going to play a few games, and so I'm not saying have patience with him as a swing, our first swing. No, I'm saying have patience, maybe give him another year to develop into that guy. But no. And one thing I would say is that the longer we wait, the more guys that get snatched up. The guys that are sitting at home or whatever, that's quality swing tackles, they get snatched up because guys are getting hurt and other things around the league. So we got to kind of watch waiting to the last minute to make a decision.
Yeah. I would ask the coach, hey, what is your take on the backup situation right now? Are you guys just still, hey, we're about a month into camp, right? Is it still, hey, we want to see what these young guys have? Or, here's what I don't get, B-Bird. Just humor me real quick. They looked at the linebacker position, and they said, okay, that room is thin with experience. So they went out and they signed Anthony Barr. Now, follow me, y'all. If you look at the linebacker room without Anthony Barr, and you look at the tackle room, and you go, okay, that linebacker room has some talent. It's very young, but it has the traits and the talent that this defensive coordinator likes, right? You would agree with that, right? Devin Harper's fast, Jabril Cox, Story Jackson looking fast and athletic, Malik Jefferson. There's the traits that the defensive coordinator likes, but they still went out and got an Anthony Barr. So go to the offensive line, the swing tackle position. No Matt Wallesco, just Josh Ball, Collins, and Isaac Ottercombe. Could you seriously look at that room and say, well, that room is better than the linebacker room without Anthony Barr? You can't, right? So
that's correct.
So if you're going to address the linebacker room by getting Anthony Barr, why not go get a Anthony Barr for the swing tackle position, which you could argue is one of your most important depth positions on the team? So I say all that to say they did it with the defense with Anthony Barr at a thin position. Why aren't they doing it with the swing tackle position?
Well, one of the things, too, you got to remember that Anthony Barr came at a very discounted price. So if he had stayed at $7-8 million asking, he probably wouldn't be here either, right?
That's fair. We don't know what an Eric Fisher or a Sam Tevy or I forget the other name that's out there, what they're asking for. You're right. But then I'm a counter with you. I like this little counter. Devil's advocate to the devil's advocate here. Wouldn't you put a bit of a higher premium on the tackle position, right? Like, all right, cool. I'm willing to go to $3 million with Barr. That's where I cut off. But the way how important the swing tackle position has been to you, wouldn't you say, okay, I'll come up a little bit more because I value that position more?
I definitely would, because actually we had a way worse position at tackle than we were at linebacker, to be honest with you. That's the guy that he's got to protect your $40 million investment. So let me ask you a question. Dwayne Brown did sign with someone. How much did he sign for? You might not know that off the top.
I can get it real quick, man. That ain't hard.
And while you doing that, I'll tell you that here's another positive take from me, man. I am so impressed with Tyler Smith, man. what he did the other day, it just gives me hope for this season because I really think that man, where we lost last year, and again I stated this recently, our running game just wasn't the running game before that. That was a couple of things. It was being hurt.
I got the number for you on Dwayne. Dwayne
okay.
signed.
Well, let me make this. Go to
2 years, 20 mil, $7 million sign bonus, $9 million guaranteed. And mind you, he pretty much had those boys at the barrel because their starting tackle got hurt. So he can go into the thing and say, hey, I'm your starter now. So he's getting paid like a starter. But I digress.
So I think that, man, if we can get this running game, we can get this thing going forward. I just like where we were when we had Leary there. He was a road grader. Tyler Smith is that right now. I really like some of the things that he did as far as combo blocking, as far as mauling people. And I know they're, maybe not first-string guys, man, but he was moving people. That shoulder shiver that he gave that one defensive tackle that turned him all the way around, man, it was really beautiful, man, to be honest with you. It just gives me hope in the season because what I was more concerned about was losing Cooper. But if we come a run-dominated team, a defense-dominated team, and we throw when we want to, not when they want us to throw, then we have the formula to win, man. That's what we didn't do last year. We lost that when people stopped respecting our run game, and we have to get that thing going, establish who we are.
Yeah.
We're going to run the ball 25 times on you, and we're going to be successful and efficient running it. Now, you bring somebody down the box, now we'll throw it to our guys. You pick your poison. Remember last year we talked about that, and that's what we were doing early on. But what they did later on is make us pick our poison. And that's because of the running game. But Tyler Smith gives me hope for this year, man. I really am excited. I hope he can continue to grow and continue to roll great people and run people over, just like what he did the other day, man. And I'm going to get off the line. And I just want to give you my Skittles and lollipops for today, brother.
Nah, that's not Skittles and rainbows. That's real stuff. Appreciate you, B-Bird.
All right, bro.
Enjoy your day. As he was talking, you know what I was thinking in my head? It's got to look like I hate to say this, but it's got to look like the San Francisco 49ers. It's got to look like that. Now, you got a way better quarterback, which is the bonus, right? I got a couple super chats I want to get to. Actually, a super chat. It's got to look like San Fran. San Fran leaned on the ground. Everything fed off of it. Play action, and that's exactly why Jimmy Garoppolo, believe it or not, was one of the most efficient quarterbacks when the ground game was going number one. But I think he was the most efficient quarterback out of play action. And obviously they leaned on their defense. That is the margin of error is very small when it comes to that, but you can have success doing that, and you can get into the playoffs and move forward in doing so. So it's going to have to be like that. Your defense is going to have to take the next step, I think, because I think this team is going to be a defensive-oriented team. And until Gallup gets back, or James Washington and Gallup or whatever, I think you're going to have to really lean into that ground game as opposed to leaning on Noah Brown and Jalen Tolbert and Simi Fehoko opposite of CeeDee Lamb. So I'm with everybody who has that belief.
Super chat.
Dom, 2 times. Appreciate you for the donation. He says, would you trade Tristan and a 4th for Roquan? Or are you content with our guys? This moves a spot open to maybe get Micah more focal on the edge. I mean, that's what they did with Barr. But let's just start with the top. Not thinking about money, not thinking about the contract you got to pay. Would I trade Tristan Hill in a 4th round pick for Roquan Smith? Hell yes, I would. What are we talking about, Dom? 2-time? Yes, I would. Come on, man. Roquan Smith, 2nd team All-Pro with Micah Parsons and Barr. I don't give a damn about no LVE. Hell, throw LVE in there if you want. But yeah, I would do that. But it comes with the caveat. You're going to have to pay Roquan Smith a lot of money for an off-ball linebacker. That's not something that the league likes to do. That damn sure ain't something that, Steven might do. I mean, he did it with Jalen Smith. So let me shut up. He did sign Jalen to a lot of money. I think that might have been more of a Jerry Jones good story, keep him around thing. But if they're willing to reach into their pockets again for an off-ball linebacker like Roquan Smith, yeah. Roquan Smith is better than Jalen Smith. All-pro linebacker that can make plays for you all over the field. So a 4th and Tristan for Roquan? Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Only problem is you got to pay him. Even though Sky hates me, I've been down since I don't hate you 9 deep. Talking about, man. We just ain't getting your boy Isaiah Simmons. That's all. Nobody is saying anything about us having 17 million cap space. Use it, goddammit, says CJ. I mean, well, you know how that goes, brother. You know how that goes. Derek asks, are you still going to the 3rd preseason game against Seattle? If so, see you. Yes, sir. I will be there, sir. Where? I'm not sure. I'm actually working on that. I'm not sure. All right, we got a couple callers on the horn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the last 2 points of our list, and we're going to finish up the show on the phones and in the chat. So the next part of the list revolves around the wide receivers. Jalen Tolbert versus Samuel Jr. and CeeDee Lamb versus J.C. Jackson. Tolbert and Samuel Jr. that's an easy 1-for-1 I got to see. Tolbert's likely going to see a ton of guys like Samuel Jr. May not be the cornerback 1, but it'll be a solid cornerback 2 from time to time. And can he win these battles? He won some against Denver, don't get me wrong. And he's been winning a lot in camp. But he also had 7 targets, 2 receptions. You got to put a little pin on that one, right? You got to put a little asterisk next to that because Cooper Rush just barely gave him a chance sometimes. Some of those things were wide, too high, whatever. But then Tolbert also had a drop. So, I'm pretty sure he's ready to go this week, fired up to go at Samuel Jr., fired up to go at whoever he plays out there on Saturday. But we're talking about the joint practice. And that's one I would be keeping my eye on. How does Tolbert bounce back from a struggle game against Denver in the first competition battle? And then you got CeeDee Lamb versus J.C. Jackson. If you remember last year, J.C. Jackson, All-Pro, Pro Bowl cornerback for the New England Patriots. In that New England game, that was Lamb's best game of his career. Forget last year. The best game of CeeDee Lamb's career. Game-winning touchdown, all that good stuff. 149 yards, just abused them. However, a lot of that was on Jalen Mills. And J.C. Jackson, the All-Pro top-tier cornerback, was actually following Amari Cooper. And on that game-winning play, J.C. Jackson was on Amari Cooper. Mills picked up CeeDee Lamb, touchdown, game time, see you later. So I want to see, and don't get it twisted, JC's a ball hawk, but he ain't what a lot of people want to claim CeeDee Lamb is, or I'm sorry, want to claim what Trayvon Diggs is. Can't cover nobody, yada, yada. No, J.C. Jackson's a damn good corner. So I want to see CeeDee Lamb go up against J.C. Jackson because this is what we're going to see. We're going to see teams throw their number 1 at CD, and there's going to be opportunities. Can he get at those guys? We've seen him beat ones before, but I hope Coach Brandon Staley, Coach McCarthy go to each other and say, hey, man, let's get some work with CD and JC. Keep them over there. Let's get some work. So that is my list there. Tolbert versus Samuel Jr., Lamb versus Jackson in regards to wide receivers. I want to see that. And then obviously at the top, we got Will Grier. Finally getting back with the wide receiver 2s. We got to see how he's connecting. Is he continuing that momentum he had prior to his injury? Micah versus Slater, round 2. Micah's out for redemption. And then Steele and Ball versus Mack and Bosa. 2 guys. One's a starter who's going to see guys like Mack and Bosa. The other one is a backup who, if they don't, if they use him, Josh Ball, as your swing, he's going to be seeing starters like Mack and Bosa from time to time. So you want to see how he responds. So that is the list. Grier, Micah, Steele, Ball, Tolbert, Lamb.
You just made the list.
You just made the list. Shout out to J Cube.
Super chat.
For the $5 donation. Says, what up, Sky? NWO for life. When y'all get those shirts, I need that one. The new feature, your surprise Votch. The new feature, surprise Votch with on black and white was fire. Thank you, brother. If you guys missed that Nuance World Order from yesterday's show on Votch on Barty Live, go check that out. I should clip it and make it a little thing, but it's on Twitter at Skywalker still. We got you, JQ. You're definitely getting the shirt because you came up with the Nuance World Order. I think there was another one I missed. It was not. All right, cool. Somebody had a question. Jacob, what's good, Jacob? Oh, no, it's not a question. Oh, he says, Sky, it's been a minute since I've been on. I apologize, but your interviews with the players were fire. Appreciate you, Jacob. It's cool, man. You know it's hashtag running back gang. Lemitra asked what was the Chargers, the offensive lineman that they drafted. The name is Rashaan Slater. That's why I got Micah versus Rashaan Slater. All right, let's get back into the horn. We got 937. This looks like a new number here. 937, what it is, what it do.
Hey, how you doing, Steele? Can you hear me?
I'm good. I can hear you. You sound like I'm on speaker, but I can hear you.
Yeah, man. I'm saying that I'm calling in, man, because to say that the defense, man, I'm loving it, man. I've been waiting for so long to get a dominant defense from this team, and I finally got it, man. I say no defense, no rings, and I finally got it.
You definitely do.
I got a question for you too. Wait, why do you think they haven't put Ed Jones in the Hall of Fame? I think they did Ed Jones wrong, man.
Who?
You know, nobody ran.
Oh, Ed Too Tall?
Ed Too Tall, man. He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
I can't give you an answer on that, man. According to Danny Savage, the Hall of Fame sucks, so that could just be the reason. They're just inconsistent with it. And it does feel like they got a bit of a Cowboys bias, not going to lie to you, because, like, how the hell did DeMarcus Ware not make it a first-time ballot Hall of Famer, but Jason Taylor did? Doesn't make sense. How is Darren Woodson still not in the Hall? How did Bullet Bob Hayes took him a bit? Like, it's just it is what it is with Cowboys players.
Yeah, because, I mean, Ed Jones, man, you know how many
passes you're talking about Zion Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many passes Ed Jones batted down in his career, man? That's like a sack to me. You know.
Yeah.
That took a damage from the team.
Not with you.
Yeah. And I want to compliment you on your haircut, man. You got that. You got that so sharp, man. Your girl go up there and probably get her fingers cut, man. I can't even egg my yard that good.
Hey, man, listen, I like I said earlier, when you're a broke college kid or a high school kid, sometimes you got to figure out how to line yourself up, right? You got to figure out how to line yourself up. And I learned a long time ago. Now, I can't cut my hair. I can do a little something. I can fade a little tiny bit on the sides, but I'm not a good barber, so I saved that for my barber, but I appreciate it.
Okay, and I say it Steele's your cousin. Houston is mine, man. I think down the road he might actually be my cousin.
Dennis?
I would like to get in. Yeah, I would like to get in touch with him and find out if he is, because there ain't too many of Houston's running around.
Well, shout out to your second cousin, Dennis Houston. I hope we get a chance to see a little bit more of him this week in practice and in the game. I don't care who's throwing the ball. Just throw it his way. See what happens.
Yeah, and like I said, I love my defense, but I got three guys in my doghouse right now. I got Joseph, I want to be the rapper. Rashaan, I'm better than Sherman. And Ridgeway, I want to break some necks. Now, Ridgeway, I really haven't seen enough of him to really, be too mad at him. But the former two, I'm sort of cautious of them right now. And I think that probably the last cut going to come down to Joseph and Rashaan.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to get cut in this round. I don't think they're going to get cut in general, to be honest with you. But I'll agree that they do need to kind of bounce back, though, for sure.
Okay, and to get on a little offense, man, people need to leave Dak alone, man. Dak is probably the best backup we ever had when he was a backup. You know what I'm saying? And he got to be.
Yeah, he turned into the franchise quarterback. Right. Yeah. Well, shoot, right. Tony and Dak, your two best backups in the history of the Cowboys.
Right. Tony and Dak. Definitely.
I guess you can kind of say
Dak is
Captain
definitely
America.
Right, and Dak is definitely a top 4 or 5 quarterback that we ever had. Of all the quarterbacks we had, Dak got to be, in 4th or 5th place. And on another topic. And so, what do you think about the wide receivers?
Very improving bunch. Individually, they've made some strides in camp, but again, when it comes together for team, it looked kind of how it looked, on Saturday, even with Dak. Meaning, Dak to Lamb, no problems. Everything else was it was hit or miss, hit or miss. But I don't think we're going to get a real firm grip on it until we get to the season, and you're rolling out Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, Simi, Dennis, and probably Turpin as your receivers. And now Dak got to, they said it. It came out with an article. Hey, man, they relying on Dak Prescott to elevate the improving group. So it's on Dak, man.
Okay. And my final thing on preseason. A lot of people don't, they get mad when the Cowboys lose or whatever. I don't mind them losing. It's how they lose. That's how I look at it.
In preseason?
In preseason. Because it's like practice, man. If you practice good, you're going to play good. And even Deion did. That's what Deion used to always say. And if in preseason games, I know the starters aren't out there much. But if you're a backup, man, and you trying to make the team and you ain't out there doing what you need to do, and what did that say about you? You think they're just going to turn on a light when the season starts and say, I'm going to start playing now? And you trying to make the team and you're not out there.
Well, I mean, I think there was a lot of individuals who see that's the problem with looking at the result or even the how-to the result. You got to look at these guys individually. There were a lot of players individually who did have good games. I can care less if they lose in preseason. It was 0-4 last year in preseason, and they went 12-5. So,
Right. I care about the record. They could lose them all. They could win them.
And half of they were sitting 20-plus players last on Saturday. So most of those players ain't playing.
Right. Plus, it's the first preseason. So, I'm not getting on anyone except my main three I was saying on defense. And I'm not really bad on them because I want to see what they're going to do this Saturday. Everybody had one bad game, but I want to see what those three going to do this Saturday.
Gotcha.
And believe it or not, man, I always look at the third preseason game. I know some people don't like to see the starters out there, but I do because I always look at the third preseason game, and no lie, Steele, I have never been wrong about the season after watching the third preseason game.
This is a different year, though. Back in the day, it was 4 preseason games, and the third one was a dress rehearsal. Right. There's no more third preseason game dress rehearsal. That's the final preseason game. So think of the third preseason game this year as that throwaway final preseason game of years past. That one where you're gonna send Dak Prescott out there against somebody's fourth team defensive end who's just trying to make the team. I'm sorry, I ain't doing that.
Well, I'm saying I don't know what the other team gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do. Just because you rolling out your starters in the last preseason game does not mean Seattle's gonna go ahead and throw out their starters just because you're doing it. That's why I think these practices are important. These joint practices, because you're going to get first team on first team. If Dak played last week, they didn't run out their first team. So you would have been like, oh, Dak Prescott carved up second and third teamers. Whoop-de-doo.
I never played Dak the first game. I'm saying when it was 4 games, I understand it's only 3 this year.
Right.
I'm saying when it was 4 games, the third game was always a dress rehearsal, usually. But I don't know if we even get a dress rehearsal this year, like you said. But if it is a dress rehearsal this week, this Saturday rather, or I don't know, the third week, I'm gonna call back in, man, and I'm gonna give you the record and I'll tell you how far.
So you base the entirety of the season off of maybe a series or 2 of the dress rehearsal game.
I've never been wrong.
That's bold, man. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I'm telling you, man, if they do it, I'm going to call in, I'm going to tell you their record, and I'm going to tell you how far they're going to get.
Okay. I'll be waiting for you, man.
I love the show. Yeah, I love the show, man. I'm going to really do that, man. If they do it, I'm praying that they do it, and nobody gets hurt.
That's the number one thing. Get out of there free, man. Injury free. But appreciate the call, good brother.
All right, take care, man.
You too.
Love
Thank
your show. Keep going, man.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach Marr for the donation. Appreciate it.
Super chat.
Says Harvey Martin needs to be in 100%. Right above that, Q Blake. Oh, Q. You must be new here, Q Blake. Told me, Sky, I need to do my homework. I don't know who Ed Too Tall Jones is. See that little rewind button? Just rewind that back there. There's no way, no how. You heard me say, I don't know who the great Ed Too Tall Jones is. What you heard me say is, I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame. And according to Danny, the Hall of Fame sucks, so that could be the reason why he's not. Don't do that to me, man. It's almost it's almost Cowboys' responsibility to know some of the Cowboys greats. And I ain't saying I know them all, but you got to know some of these Cowboys greats. And not only am I a historian for Cowboys, I love football in general. So Q Blake, come on, man. You think I'm on here just one of these new Cowboy fans? I just became a Cowboy fan when Tony Romo became quarterback. Y'all better tell him how old I am. Nah, seriously, I am not that old. But I do know, I know the Cowboys history, man. Come on, Q Blake. Q Blake, I did not say I did not know Ed Too Tall Jones. Fix your ears, brother. I do not know why he is not in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man. That's what happens when y'all try to do what y'all try to do, but it's all good. Let's get to some more. This guy was born the same year as Ed Too Tall Jones. We got Los on the horn. What's good, Los?
Good morning, Sky. Good morning. Just want to do real quickly. Let me see real quick. Oh, sorry about that. But you don't need a dominant line to win. And when we had a dominant line, that never translated going into the playoffs.
That's fair.
I need you to remind, we were one of the most penalized teams these past years in the NFL. And this was way before Mike McCarthy. There's always been a consistency problem, you know? Trust me, I understand the concern about this O-line and the receiving core getting the ball, but I think the caller hit it on the head yesterday. You have to have a certain zone scheme, blocking, or movement in the O-line to help your O-line. Because being at the right spot makes a whole lot of difference, Sky.
Yeah, can I add on to that, Los? I feel like if you're not going to have a 2016, 2014 type of line where it's man on man, and even then, 2014, there was a schematic aspect to it. But if you're not going to have a mano-a-mano, I'm just better than you. For instance, let's go back to the Wade Phillips era when we had the Leonard Davises and the Andre Garrads and the Flozell Adams. Those boys were just massively bigger and stronger than you. Put a body on a body, create lanes, and we had a solid running game. That's not really the case anymore. So I think you either need to have a run game coordinator, or B, a running scheme, or C, you just got to have guys who can put a body on a body and get it done.
Exactly, Scott. And that falls especially on Kellen and Mike McCarthy to be on the same page. They have to adapt to the pieces they have handed to them. And like you said, we don't have this O-line for 2014, 2015 to be man on man. So it's really going to have to be down to coaching, which the Cowboys have not. Let's be honest. Let's really be honest with ourselves. When have we had a top 5 or top 10 head coach in these past 20 years? Because Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy ain't it, all right? I'm going to be straight up honest. But they have to do something this year to make, be competitive. And I'll leave you with this to close off. I need Dak to run one series, man. Not this preseason game, but the last preseason game. Because I need to see how Kellen is going to adapt with one or two wide receivers that have never seen that much playing time in the NFL make plays. Because if Cooper, Ben, and if Will Grier turns out to be, poop, and they're just horrible to watch and can't even give them the ball, which we'll see these next 2 weeks. But we have to see how Tolbert and Houston are going to, make these plays.
Oh, God, y'all are crazy in this chat. My bad.
Hey, I'm just saying.
No. I ain't laughing at you. The chat is wild. You want Dak Prescott to play, you said one series?
1 or 2 series.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no.
All right, Los, it was nice having you. No, I'm just playing. No. I don't want to see it, man.
Well, let me tell you this, though. Because I think that's the reason why Mahomes played the last preseason game. Because most of the time... he was, primarily, let me target Tyree Hill, he was the primary X. But I think they needed to see how they can expand the field and see how they can push the ball forward without changing nothing about themselves.
What is one series? What is one series going to do? Let me ease your mind real quick. Dak Prescott didn't play a single snap of preseason last year. Came out against Tampa Bay and smoked them for 400 yards.
Hey, you are right about that. You are right. I'm just saying, man. It's just
that.
a whole different year. I'm just nervous about the
Dennis Houston need those snaps. Tolbert need those snaps. Semi need those snaps, right? Vasher, Turpin, Drummond, all them. They need those snaps. Dak Prescott don't need those snaps.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I will say this, though. I mean, if the hugest risk we could by running this back out there is, losing him for the season, and that's our season. Which, trust me, I know I don't want Dak to get hurt. But I mean, that's it, man. I just need a confidence. I really need confidence for this team going to this year because I'm gonna be bold with this, guys. Like these first 6 weeks of the NFL is gonna be it's gonna be real competitive for the Cowboys because I think they got the Rams, they got the Bengals, they got 2 division rivals, and division rivals are not a win or loss every single time. So it's just, I don't know, man. I just need confidence heading into the season because right now this O-line, this coaching staff, and everything, it ain't it. But like I said, I'm still supporting my team, DC for life, man.
All right, man. Los, appreciate you calling in, man. I apologize for all the laughs, but you'll go back into the chat. You'll see.
Okay, peace.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, God. Y'all are terrible. Sky was at Woodstock. Sky's so old, he got an autographed Bible. Oh, man. Y'all are terrible. Somebody says Sky interviewed Jimmy Johnson at the Super Bowl. What are we doing? Sky bought his first pair of glasses from Benjamin Franklin. Y'all terrible. For those who are listening on air or listening, running it back, this is what you don't get. This is what you don't get when you're not here for the live shows. The chat is crazy. Y'all wild, man. Y'all wild. Talking about Benjamin Franklin and Abraham Lincoln. Y'all got to stop living in fantasy, man. Speaking of fantasy, y'all know how it goes. We got the fantasy draft coming up. Give it about 2 more weeks. If you want to join our fantasy draft, you can do so. Go to A to Z Sports Dallas.com. You'll see Underdog Fantasy floating around there. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download Underdog Fantasy app. Use the promo code ATOZ. And you will be entered into the drawing to be a part of the fantasy draft. Now, somebody did ask questions about if you're already users. My apologies. We did get clarification on that. If you are a user already with Underdog Fantasy, the promo code does not matter. However, let me know if you are a user. I will still enter your name in the drawing when we do the drawing. All right. Also, if you want to just gamble on Underdog Fantasy, you can by entering your team in the Best Ball Mania that pays out up to $10 million in prizes ranging from $250 leagues to $25 leagues. And the best part about Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest part about Underdog Fantasy is you can set it and forget it. That's so cool. I've never been in a league like that where you just draft your team. You don't have to manage it all season. They pick the best scores from all your players and boom. If you win, you win. If not, you don't. So I love that about Underdog Fantasy. Make sure y'all sign up. Use the promo code ATOZ. Y'all still going ham in this chat. Still going ham. Oh my gosh. Smoke 14, appreciate you for the donation. Says need to watch the vid from last night on BCS. AA Ron. Sky had 100 years to work on his transition game. Y'all gonna get this little Segway Jones part of it. I love it. James, the truck driver. What it do?
Hey, what's up, Sky? How you doing, bro?
What's good with you, man? It's been a minute.
Nothing, man. Just trying to make it home. Hey, look, I got a couple of questions. Oh, appreciate you. What do you think about trading Kelvin Joseph for a swing tackle?
Nah, probably not. Because I feel like I can go sign
Why?
one. If I could just sign one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna trade a 2nd round pick in his 2nd year, it's gonna be more for and a backup swing tackle. You know what I'm saying? I'd trade him for a receiver or something like that, but nah.
But you wouldn't be opposed to trading him, period.
I'm not there's only a handful of dudes I'm closing the door on a trade. I mean, Joseph could be used in a package at this moment, right? But for just a pure swing, I think, I sleep on it here. Probably not. Only because I can go sign one. I don't need to give away any assets.
Right. I mean, do you? I don't want to sound negative about the brother. I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing about Kelvin Joseph. I mean, I just, I seen Bland, and I would expect Joseph to come out and play like Bland played.
Let me get rid of that. True. That's kind of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Joseph come out and play like Bland. I'm right with you. I'm right there with you. It didn't happen. But here's the thing about Joseph. We do have actual real game film where he hasn't been as inconsistent as he has been in training camp.
Right.
That's like kind of the saving grace, right? Like we got film on Kelvin Joseph where he's played in real games and he's been pretty decent.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we held on to AB for 5-6 years. I guess we can give him a shot too. But I'm not about holding on to old stuff that's in the garage. You know what I'm saying? I see that old stuff in the garage, I'm ready to throw it away.
That's fair.
Or trade for it. That's how I feel about it. I got one more question and then I'm gonna let you go, bro. Ridgeway, you think he gonna make the 53 or think he gonna be practice squad?
Man, Vach put me on the spot yesterday about our linemen. There's legitimately 12 guys on the front in the defensive line that could be on this roster, and they'll probably carry like 10. So that means a couple guys got to go. Ridgeway is a candidate, unfortunately, but he's a draft pick, right? So it's like he in any other world, he's a candidate because he's a 5th round pick. But in Dallas, they value these draft picks, and they kept all 11 last year. So part of me is like, yeah, he gonna be on this team. The other part of me is like, man, if I had to cut somebody today, I don't know how he's not kind of on that chopping block. And that's not because he's like playing bad or anything, right? He's young. He's a 5th round pick. I never was expecting Ridgeway to come in here and be just turn your defense around, right? I expect him to be coming here and be a part of rotation. Problem is, this rotation looks pretty stellar. So I don't know, man. Can you hey James, can you call me back in 2 weeks on that? Call me back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I hear everybody raving about him, Ridgeway this, Ridgeway that, and he really hasn't stood out. You just hear a name, and like you said, this D line is crazy. And I don't have time I don't have time for hype. I want to see action.
Right.
And I know he's a run stuffer. I get that. He's a run stuffer.
I mean, let me see if I got some plays from. There was a few clips I clipped up. Wasn't of Ridgeway exactly. I'll go back and watch more of him in the game. But when they got to the goal line and they put Ridgeway in, he wasn't getting like moved or anything, and he looked fine, but enough to be like, yo, I'm gonna cut Quentin Bohanna, or I'm gonna cut Terrell Basham, or I'm gonna cut Carlos Watkins. Not just yet. We got a couple more weeks.
Yeah. I'm not cutting both. I ain't cutting Big Bo for him. No, sir. So how do the practice squad thing go? If he does land on the practice squad, I mean, do he have to clear waivers? How do that thing go?
Yeah, he has to clear waivers. If he gets cut, another team can pick him up. But if they don't pick him up, then you can put him on the practice squad.
Damn, somebody can pick him up.
Maybe
they got tough decisions as far as that D line is concerned, and you got a GM that really is not a GM, so ain't no telling what the hell he gonna do, or them talking about Steven and Jerry.
Yeah,
whichever one I guess decides makes the pick. But that's all I got, bro. You know, I wasn't too off about the old line Saturday. You know, they got
The conference has been locked.
better. You know, we'll see what happens. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, we'll see exactly. We got week 2, another week for some of these guys to build on some of the things they did well, and another week for guys to kind of correct some of the things they didn't correct. But this was good experience, whether it's good or bad. It was good experience for them. They needed that. I'm hoping, you know, a few of these dudes gained some confidence and can carry it over this week. But big week for a couple of these young guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, Sky, I appreciate you, bro. And I'll be checking in with you tomorrow.
All right, man. Yeah, come back through tomorrow, man. Or later today on the Vox
Right,
Party
bro.
Live. Appreciate you.
Man, I'll be asleep, man. I wish I could catch that show, but I'll be asleep, bro.
I can dig it.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's all good. It's all good, James.
You know me. I'm the night rider, man.
Yeah. Drive safe, man. Drive safe out there.
Okay. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Now injuries might make these things easier. Play might make these things easier. But right now, play has not made it easy. Like play is not. There's nobody on that defensive line right now that you're just super underwhelmed with. I don't know how you could be underwhelmed with Ridgeway at this point. Again, 5th round pick, 1 tech, not a splash type of player. I saw somebody say I'd cut Bohanna for Ridgeway. You're crazy. But one thing I can tell you for sure, he ain't been better than Bohanna. Practice or in the preseason game. So I'm not cutting Bo. Bo's earned it. Like, what are we doing? You know? So it's gonna be tough decisions, man. Tough decisions. Y'all still going hammer time. We got 2 more callers. I'm not familiar with this number. Then I believe I think I might know who 702 is, but let's get to 701 and we'll finish it off with 702. What's up, 701? Or 601. My bad. 601. 601 going once. 601 going twice. 601 sold.
Bruh.
Oh.
What's up, Scott?
Oh, boy. You came in right at the last second. What's up, 601? Who this?
No, this is Reggie. Reggie J.
What's up, Reggie J?
Ain't nothing much, man. Long time listener, first time caller, man. Love what you and Watch doing, brother. Just keep it up, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I just got a list I'm gonna say about what everybody's saying about Kevin Joseph. I feel like you think about Kevin Joseph, what he experienced over the off season, and he's still waiting on what the NFL gonna do.
Well,
so I think that does kind of play with his play a little bit. So really, to be honest, I kind of don't want to see him turn up until after the suspension.
That's something that we have ignored over the last week, right? Is Kelvin Joseph's potential discipline with the league. But we are 3 weeks out of the first game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we ain't going to hear about Kelvin Joseph in suspension until either during the season or after, if it even happens, because he's been cleared. So I think we have to operate under the assumption there will be no suspension as of right now. So we can't be like, hey, Kelvin will get suspended so his roster won't count. Nah, it seems like it will count. So now let's judge his play, let's judge his practices, and where does he fit?
Okay. Because the NFL, they'll wait till he start playing good and let's say, breaking news, Kevin Joseph been suspended for 3 games. And that's the last thing I want to happen.
But what can you do about that? You know what I'm saying? So we know how I am. We operate on the data we have, and we speak on what is, and then we try to project out to the future. The data we have right now is that Kelvin Joseph is going to be active during the season. If he gets suspended during the season, it is what it is. But they can't go into these next 3 weeks and be like, hey, y'all, Kelvin's going to get suspended, even though nobody told us that. They got to operate under the assumption that Kelvin is available. So, that just is what it is right now, man.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. All right, man. I'm going to hang up and keep listening, man. You keep doing your thing, man. Love what y'all doing. And I'll holler at you later.
I appreciate you, Reggie. Yeah, I hate to be kind of cut and dry about it, but I mean, if he isn't suspended now, we haven't heard anything come down the pike. It very well may happen out of nowhere. But, I mean, I ask you guys, should the Cowboys operate under that assumption that Kelvin won't be available week 1? I'll ask around. I'll, maybe reach out to some NFL insiders as opposed to Cowboys insiders, but we don't know. We don't know. And if I'm building the team, I can't build the team thinking, oh well, Kelvin will be suspended if that's not what I'm being told. So I got to judge Kelvin off of what he's doing. It's tough. It sucks. This is what happens when you don't take Asante Samuel Jr. Just saying, should have took Asante Samuel. Y'all are crazy. I am impressed with how long y'all are going with this joke. Oh wow. 702. Send us out. What it is, what it do. 702 going once.
Yo, this guy Steele.
Yes, sir. What's goody? You are live.
Now you know your ass is Willie. Now what's going on, man? Hey, man, shout out to you and Vach. Now you know your ass is Willie.
I love it.
Hey, shout out to you and Vach, man. Y'all doing y'all thing on the Vach. I'm so proud of y'all, man. Long time listener, first time caller, man. And I'm proud of y'all, man. I already knew y'all had it in y'all, man. So it's good to see it. It's good to see it flourish, man.
I know this sound crazy, bro, but we truly just beginning. But thank you, man.
I understand that, and I see the growth that's even coming. But check this out, man. I just really got a gripe, man, with the Joneses, man. I kind of feel they kind of trying to set Dak up to be the scapegoat, man, because it seemed like everybody who Dak was liking, they let go. Him and Leo Collins was, like, real cool. And to me, an underdog, I mean, like a story that's, man, Malik Turner, man. I think him and Malik Turner was actually gaining some chemistry. And nobody really talks about him, but they let him go. So I just kind of feel they kind of setting Dak up, man. I don't think they like paying him all that money, man. You know they cheap.
Ooh, that makes me want to put the tinfoil hat on and I'll humor it a little bit. So you think they're doing this purposefully, like in spite or to spite Dak Prescott for the contract?
Definitely, man, because they didn't want to pay him in the first place, and then when they had to pay him, they gave him the bag. I think every time Stephen Jones, man, looks at that they paid him $75 million and he's getting $40 million, I think that just sticks in his craw, and I don't think he likes it at all, man. Like, Dak is definitely not on the level of Tony Romo, I think, when it comes to the Joneses. I think they love Tony Romo like a son.
I see what you're saying.
Dak is like the stepson that they pretty much had to pay. They was forced to do everything. They was forced to bench Romo. They was forced to pay Dak.
Ooh, you making me put on my tinfoil hat for real. Listen, I'm the type, I try to see the best in situations in regards to stuff like this. But the way you're putting it, Tony was definitely their son. I don't know. Exactly. I don't know if Dak is looked at that way. However, though, I will push back a little bit, bro. I think it is extremely counterproductive to act on your feelings to then sabotage your whole team, to spite your quarterback. So I think that's a bit far-fetched. Like, I don't think they're doing this on purpose to hurt Dak. I just think they're extremely cheap and extremely arrogant when it comes to outside free agents, and sometimes, hell, even their own free agents. They're their own guys. And they want to do things their way, right? I think it's more of that than them trying to sabotage him purposefully. But to play devil's advocate, you hear Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones be like, "Hey, we paying Dak $40 million, so he got to do this and do that." So
exactly. And I just believe if Romo was the quarterback, I don't believe they would have made those moves at all. Like, they wouldn't have got rid of Cooper, Wilson, Malik Turner, Leo Collins. Like, who does that when you actually going for? I mean, you did just go 12-5 and had a good season. I mean, I know the playoffs is what it was, but
they got rid of T.O.
Who does that, man?
Just saying.
What was that?
They got rid of T.O. under Tony. So
yeah, no doubt. And
They
just
did
one
get
more
rid of
thing, man, before I get up out of here, man. I was watching the preseason game, and, man, that dude Bland, man, he just leaped off my screen, and I was kind of looking for him, but I wasn't. I was actually looking for number 41, man. That's kind of why I was watching the preseason game, even though I would have watched it anyway. But
Marquise
I
Bell.
wanted to see what I wanted to see what number 41 was going to do, man. But Bland just leaped off my screen, man. And I know talent when I see it. That dude is going to be somebody.
Man, listen, I ain't trying to underreact. I ain't trying to overreact. I'm just reacting. And me just reacting to that game, DaRon Bland was the best player on the field, period. For the Cowboys.
And it wasn't only physically. I was peeping the mental. I was peeping the mental aspect of it. He looked like his mental was right. He didn't look like the moment was too big. He knew what to do. He knew how to do it. And it just kind of seemed like a vet, man. For him to be I don't want to jump out the window, but for him to just be fresh out of college and playing like that, hey, man, if Calvin Joseph don't work out, man, I got my eye on Bland, man. I'm not even worried about Calvin Joseph no more, honestly, man.
Yeah, to me, it's not even it's not. You're right. It's not even the fact that, oh my gosh, Kelvin's not ready. What are we gonna do? He's our cornerback too. It's like, oh my gosh, Kelvin's not ready. What are we gonna do? He's cornerback 4. You know what I mean? That's where he's at right now. So he hasn't done enough for me to like be tripping that he might not get on the field right now. Where I'm disappointed is he's our second round pick, and at this point in time, I was kind of hoping to be a little bit more impressed. I said it the other day. I'm gonna take the kid gloves off and just be real with y'all. I have not been impressed with Kelvin Joseph. Like, there's nothing impressive that he's done in camp or in the games. That doesn't mean he's been bad. It just hasn't looked impressive. So hopefully he turns it around, man.
Yeah, and I was real high on Kelvin Joseph, man. I mean, and I still am, because I honestly think if he get his mind right, he'll be our best cover corner. He just got the attributes, man. He got the speed. He got the physicality. I think he got the size. He got everything that you will want in a corner, and I think he's more stickier than Diggs. I think Diggs is the gambler, but I think he's the sticky guy. But it's just he got to get his mind right. And, man, that's all I want to say, man. I really appreciate you taking my call, man.
Yeah, man, I mean, great eye. Great eye. Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's one of those things with KJ. I'm not tripping if something happens in the sense of he's okay, boom, Kelvin Joseph's your cornerback 4, cornerback 5, cornerback 6, whatever, and he's not getting on the field. That's kind of where he's at right now. AB, J-Lou, Diggs are your guys. Remember what I said at the beginning of all this. We should want Kelvin Joseph to beat out AB. We should want the competition to be so great that he outperforms AB. Hasn't been the case. So what do y'all want to do? Just give him the job? Go beat AB, man. Who's not laying down? Go beat AB. All right, phone lines are locked. We are done. About to hit the chat for a little bit, and before we get up out of here, we did go a little overtime. I said I wasn't gonna go long unless y'all allowed me to. Why do I even say these things? When do we have a 40-minute show? Come on, man. We be holding it down. It's the off season and we holding it down. Anyway, Kelvin Joseph might develop in a year or two. I mean, that's never out of the equation. I don't think he's bad now. He just ain't been nothing crazy. But yeah, can you imagine we get to year 4 and Kelvin finally is extremely impressive? Now you got to pay Kelvin. Like, God, that's just our luck, ain't it? Let's see if Bland can be consistent. Sure, right. And that's yesterday. We kind of had to get on the fan. It was like, oh, you're overhyping Bland. But I'm like, y'all didn't listen. All we literally said was, Bland has earned more snaps. So allow him to take away some of those snaps from Kelvin Joseph. Let him go up against a Jalen Guyton. I'll let him go. I just want to see what happens when he goes up against one of the top guys. Just because he's earned those snaps. But that's it. That's as far as we can go. It's one preseason game, one training camp. But if he does it again. Now, it ain't just he earned more snaps. I think he may have earned to jump so-and-so on a depth chart, if it hasn't happened already. Keith says it's going to take a minute to get his mind back right, Kelvin Joseph. And remember, we talked about the mental aspect of that, too. If he's mentally, it's a burden, not a burden, but if it's a lot of weight mentally on Kelvin Joseph right now, let's be real, we're human. That's going to affect you in anything that you do. So, yeah. I did not see the Manti Te'o documentary. How has Jabril Cox looked in practice? Remember, he got hurt real fast. They took him out. Then they put him back in. It was like the last 2 days we were out there. He was limited on Monday and also was limited snap. When I say limited, I mean he was on a snap count. That's what he told us. He was on a snap count on Monday and Tuesday. Moves around well. I mean, there was an interview I dropped with him. In the interview, there's highlights of him kind of moving around. So he's moving around fine. He said he's healthy. He's good to go. I don't know if they're going to put him in a game. They probably should. He's young. He needs to get that tick. What was Malcolm X like? I can't stand y'all. But I love y'all too. Sky, what has Kelvin even done to earn a roster spot? Period. I mean, who are you cutting? Like, I mean, who are you cutting? You're going to carry 6 corners, right? I mean, listen, y'all. Kelvin Joseph hasn't been bad. So if we want to say Kelvin Joseph, not your third corner, not your fourth corner, not your second corner, he at the very least in your top 6. You're going to carry 6, right? I'm not even counting CJ Goodwin. Like, CJ Goodwin, I'm putting him in that specialist category. So you're going to carry him. I mean, why are we cutting him right now? The talent is there. I think the disappointment comes into the fact that you're a second round pick and we expect you to grab that number 2 spot, and it hasn't happened yet. But it's a guy who is a year and 3 months into his career with talent, just off-field issues and things like that. So what has he done to earn a roster spot? I mean, again, he hasn't done anything to not be on the roster, unless you account the situation off-field, if that makes sense. I think there's a difference of not being impressive and being bad. Triple D with the donation.
Super chat.
You got to press on the defense to even dress. Stop playing, and KJ don't have 2 years. You got to press on the defense. What do you got to press on it? I don't know what that means. You got to press on the defense. Impress? Is that what you mean? You got to impress on the defense to even dress. Now, we talking about 46. Things get a little funny. That's where these next 3 weeks are going to be serious. And KJ don't have to. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, are we going to wait till year 4? They seem to move on from their guys. But hell, let's just be real. They waited all 4 years for Tristan Hill. So there's that. Man, I ain't no dang right shit. Let me tell you, she don't care about y'all that dang on much, dude, to moderate this thing. Man, no, I did see Manti Te'o's. Gabriel, they've been getting me all. Ever since I said something about my age, they just been flaming. Shout out to you, Lamitra.
Super chat.
$2 donation, says Malcolm X. What's good, Ready Red? Thank you, Lauren. Says you're doing a great job, Sky. I love your show. Appreciate it. I say it all the time. Sometimes I go back and I watch. I'm like, how did y'all listen to me this long? I can't talk to listening to myself for so long. I'd be like, y'all really did that? I appreciate y'all. Y'all the best. Shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Let's see. Oh my God. Sky, I heard you were dehydrated when you marched at Selma. Killing me. Derek Fisher is a very interesting fan. Jay Lou's trash too. Who ain't trash? Derek. Next round table, you're gonna have to ask Vach. I am not the leader in point guard and mediator of the round table. That would be Vach. But we did in our little group chat, we have talked about trying to get that going prior to the season. Also, going to try to get a simulcast. I didn't even use that term, but Vach and I on a kind of pre-kickoff combination show in the evening where we'll be on the volume and we'll be here on A to Z Sports Dallas. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Hilarious. But yeah, so a lot going on as we're getting ready to gear up for the season, man. It's preseason for us too. You know, speaking, like I said, the volume, make sure y'all check us out later today. I'm so used to saying tonight, even though I'm a year into it. Later today at 3:06-ish Central for Vox Lombardi Live. We'll be back talking Cowboys, talking Chargers. So tune in for that. Hit that like button if y'all enjoyed the show. We steadied at about 400 so plus deep. We still got 400 so plus in here. Again, y'all are just, I don't even have words half the damn time, man. Y'all are amazing. We don't have this show without y'all. So hit that like button. It's easy. Subscribe if you haven't, and share this to all your friends, family, and foes. All right. I think I'll drop the Will Grier video interview later today for those who might have missed it. It's just a quick little about minute and some change interview. But I think there was some cool things he said in there, and I'm excited to see what Grier does today in the joint practice. Before we get out of here, here's the list. If you missed the list, Will Grier with the 2s. Micah versus Rashaan Slater. Steele and Ball versus Mack and Bosa. Tolbert versus Samuel Jr. Lamb versus J.C. Jackson. All those guys.
You just made the list.
Made today's list. All right. With that said, later tonight, we got Mauricio Rodriguez on A to Z Sports Prime Time. If you don't want to listen to Mo, the very least you can do is head on over to AtoZSportsDallas.com and check out all of his articles and all of our wonderful writers. All right. Shout out to the Cochran Firm, Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code ATOZ to sign up. Salute to y'all in my Danny voice. Good call. Good show. I'm talking about y'all. Good show today. Love y'all. We out of here. See y'all tomorrow on Thursday. Peace.
Bomb Squad!